This time, we went too far. Revised and expanded. Written by Norman Finkelstein. Read by Tom Pyle. Chapter 1. Self-Defense. Question. What do you feel is the most acceptable solution to the Palestinian problem? Mahatma Gandhi. The abandonment wholly by the Jews of terrorism and other forms of violence. June 1st, 1947. On November 29, 1947, the United Nations General Assembly approved a resolution dividing British-mandated Palestine into a Jewish state, incorporating 56% of Palestine, and an Arab state incorporating 44% of it. In the ensuing war, the newly born State of Israel expanded its borders to incorporate nearly 80% of Palestine. The only areas of Palestine not conquered comprised the West Bank, which the Kingdom of Jordan subsequently annexed, and the Gaza Strip, which came under Egypt's administrative control. Approximately 250,000 Palestinians driven out of their homes during the 1948 war and its aftermath fled to Gaza and overwhelmed the indigenous population of some 80,000. Today, 80% of Gaza's inhabitants consist of refugees from the 1948 war and their descendants, and more than half of the population is under 18 years of age. Its current 1.5 million inhabitants are squeezed into a sliver of land 25 miles long and 5 miles wide, making Gaza one of the most densely populated places in the world. The panhandle of the Sinai Peninsula, Gaza is bordered by Israel on the north and east, Egypt on the south, and the Mediterranean Sea on the west. In the course of its 4-decade-long occupation beginning in June 1967, and prior to Prime Minister Ariel Sharon's redeployment of Israeli troops from inside Gaza to its perimeter in 2005, Israel had imposed on Gaza a uniquely exploitive regime of de-development that, in the words of Harvard political economist Sarah Roy, deprived the native population of its most important economic resources, land, water, and labor, as well as the internal capacity and potential for developing those resources. The road to modern Gaza's desperate plight is paved with many previous atrocities, most long forgotten or never known outside Palestine. After the cessation of battlefield hostilities in 1949, Egypt kept a tight rein on the activity of Fedayeen, Palestinian guerrillas, in Gaza until February 1955, when Israel launched a bloody cross-border raid into Gaza, killing 40 Egyptians. Israeli leaders had plotted to lure Egypt into war in order to topple President Gamal Abdel Nasser, and the Gaza raid proved the perfect provocation as armed border clashes escalated. In October 1956, Israel, in collusion with Great Britain and France, invaded the Egyptian Sinai and occupied Gaza, which it had long coveted. The prominent Israeli historian Benny Morris described what happened next. Many Fedayeen and an estimated 4,000 Egyptian and Palestinian regulars were trapped in the Strip, identified and rounded up by the IDF, Israel Defense Forces, GSS, General Security Service, and police. Dozens of these Fedayeen appear to have been summarily executed without trial. Some were probably killed during 2 massacres by the IDF troops soon after the occupation of the Strip. On November 3rd, the day Khan Yunis was conquered, IDF troops shot dead hundreds of Palestinian refugees and local inhabitants in the town. One UN report speaks of some 135 local residents and 140 refugees killed as IDF troops moved through the town and its refugee camp, searching for people in possession of arms.